Discipline. Discipline is given to the children by example. Parents, elders, and teachers are the models to follow. Children are expected to follow the guidance of their parents without any discussion or question. In schools, it is very annoying for Vietnamese students to see some teachers' behaviors because it's disturbing for them to see their teachers sitting on desks, wearing casual outfits, or calling persons by their first name. Remember that they see the teacher as a role model, so they have to have like a status, and these kind of activities make a confusion on them. Okay, Vietnamese parents, in the same sense about discipline, Vietnamese parents feel responsible about all the discipline of their children. That is why they tend to reject all guidance from professionals, including like psychologists. When our children have problems in school, they reject getting assistance from a psychologist because they've seen that if they use help from another person, they are like leaving their children behind. The last one, Vietnamese population also have differences in education and physical contact. Okay, Vietnamese people love to learn. Remember that they came to the country to be a better person and to reshape their country. So they put a lot of effort to be educated. And finally, physical contact. Persons from Vietnam avoid to be hugged and kissed. And so teachers need to avoid touching children, and eye contact must be not direct. Okay, some implications for the classrooms. There are some advantages that Vietnamese students have. First, they have a similar reading system. As we said, it is very similar to the alphabet that we have in the United States, but there are some additional symbols. Second, they have some previous knowledge of English because, as I said, English was taught in their country. Third, as I said before, they love to learn. So this gives some advantages to learn more. But they have also some disadvantages. First is the characteristics of the language. Remember, the language that they talk, Vietnamese, is very tonal, so the meanings of the words vary depending on the tone you use. And also the form of the structure of the use is very different. For example, in Vietnamese, the structure is subject, verb, object. Okay. And the other disadvantage is that Vietnamese students are used to traditional learning styles like memorization, like taking notes, like relying totally on the classmates, on the teachers. And remember that in the United States things are very different. The students need to learn by themselves and need to learn by practice. Okay, some of the students' preferences. They love to, well, they usually use note-taking. They need to be, the teachers need to put everything on the board because they need to take notes about everything. They have reluctance to participate. As we say, this is for respect and because they are shy. Also, they need some structure and plan instruction. They don't understand why, if the books have an order, why teachers did not follow the order of the book. They need to stick to a plan always. And finally, they love to work in groups because, as I say, they don't want to stand, so they love to have group interactions. Okay, there was a study made in 2007 where there was where the author discovered that there are some key factors that teachers need to take into account when teaching Vietnamese students. First, factor that they have to consider is that they have to give the students some foundation about the subject and some background knowledge. They have to understand what are you talking about, because remember that the context they have is very different from the United States. Second, you need to consider their dual identity. Remember that Vietnamese are bilingual. They do not have only one language or one culture. They now have two cultures. So it's important to value and to consider both identities. More time. Teachers also need to give more time for the students in order to give them the opportunity to participate. Remember that they don't want to get a mistake. So if you give them more time, they can think the answer and give it to all the classrooms. Also, there are some other strategies that can be useful. For example, raise a question and give them the opportunity to answer them in a written form. Slower pace. Sometimes programs are full of information. You have to rely only on the important concepts in order to have more time to ensure that the students get the information you want. Note-taking. Of course, we know that Vietnamese are used to use note-taking strategies, but teachers need to grant that their notes are well and organized and are considering all the important points of the subject. And finally, multiple learning. Teachers need to use materials that can aid the learning of the students. These materials include visuals, include manipulatives, include examples. Okay. And finally, what I have to say is, the important thing is that you know the students, that you know their culture, and that you value their culture. I'm going to pass all you in the class some activities that can be useful when you have a Vietnamese student in your classroom. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you like my presentation. I would like only to highlight that Vietnamese is a very specific cultural group in the United States that have special needs and that teachers need to address to those needs. Yes, we know that if they don't want or they don't like to work individualized or to participate, you are not going to use that strategies. Yes, you're going to do it, but you are going to give them the opportunity to develop those abilities. And that is why it is important to know about the culture and about the persons before delivering the lessons to the students.